We're going live. Happy evening, everybody. Welcome to our 33rd episode of our Sales Mastery podcast. And we would like to appreciate and acknowledge all of you who are watching us live on the Facebook, and also those who will be watching us subsequently when this is loaded up into the YouTube channel. Friends, today we are going to have a guest who really personifies what is going to be the future of the world, as I would say. We have a person who's an expert in artificial intelligence, which is going to be what is going to, in my opinion, really going to rule the roost and determine the way we are going to live our lives. And the person who's going to be with us today in this special 33rd episode is a person who's a software service veteran with over 25 years of experience in building and advising technology in businesses. He's a strategic thinker with a deep understanding of technology and business. He has a proven record of coaching SaaS, virtual reality, and other startup leaders on various functions, including recruitment, scaling, and product development. He's also a Microsoft Regional Director since 1999 and is a regular speaker on technology and business events. Today's guest started his career in this field of technology way back in 1990 by developing an inventory system for a publishing house, which sparked his passion to creating a transformative software. And in recent years, he has designed Simplistic, a US patent pending news app that uses machine learning to personalize the user experience. He was a former CEO of Vishwak Solutions, which he grew into a regional front runner with offices in India, Seattle, and London. He's also the co-founder of a fintech startup in Seattle and Chennai that used Azure artificial intelligence to reimagine business document management. Okay, he's also a member of a Professional Speaker Association of India, where we both are buddies. And he has done more than 4,000 podcasts, which has read by more than 1.5 million users at his very, very popular site. And he also is a movie buff, and he does reviews of movies as soon as they're released, which are very, very popular, which are very, very well received, and people look forward to that particular reviews which he does. Friends, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome my special guest today, Mr. Venkatarangan. Venkat, welcome to our 33rd episode of podcast. And today we're going to discuss on the use of artificial intelligence to boost sales. And this particular, as you all know, this podcast, which has been running for more than about 3 years now, we consciously try to get the latest technology in order to help people improve their effectiveness in selling, which I believe is the most important personal skill, is the most important business skill. And I, for one, also believe, as has been understood and appreciated by anybody, sales is equal to income, sales is equal to revenue, and revenue is equal to business. So no sales, no income, no revenue, no business. So the objective of this particular podcast is to help people realize the importance of selling as a science, as an art. And this podcast is also to help influence people to look at selling and learn selling, especially for the young entrepreneurs, because once if they understand the master and understand and master selling, they will be able to really run a sustainable and a scalable business. So friends, this is what is a basic outline of what I wanted to share with you. So for the first question to my friend Venkat is, Venkat, what do you feel about the importance of selling in business? Because you have been a founder and you still advise a number of companies across India and abroad. So the relevance and importance of selling, and your comment on selling is the most important personal skill, selling is the most important business skill, and selling is what enables a company to thrive and to scale up.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Arunaagiri, for inviting me. It's a very special podcast. Like you said, it's been running for 3 years. I enjoy it. It's very important that you're talking to young entrepreneurs, because the biggest challenge that I see in these young entrepreneurs, especially today, they're all very good in terms of technology or the problem that they are solving, but they all struggle with selling. And we are living in a digital first world where we are not able to connect to people. I think sales, I don't know anything about sales. I'm an engineer by education. So I thought you build the best mousetrap, the world will come and buy to you. And it took me 5 years of beating in the real world to realize that is not how the real world works. You got to go and sell. Nobody comes and buys you unless you are probably an hospital, if I can think of one profession. That too you have to sell, but I'm just simplifying the thing. So you have to, I learned it the hard way that you have to sell it to your customers. There is nobody will walk into your door. And for those entrepreneurs, since you're focusing on them, I think it's really, really good that you're doing this. I will start with this. Say, one of the quotes, I forgot who said it, but it kind of stuck with me many years back, that if you're not selling, then it's not a business you're running, it's a hobby you've got. And we technologists, especially engineers and product managers, come from that engineering background. We always think of what we are building rather than how are we going to sell it. We say, even yesterday I was meeting an entrepreneur, young entrepreneur. He was saying they have this X number of services that they've got, and just one more magic masala I have to throw, then it becomes fantastic. People will buy. I say, sorry, start selling what you've got today. Prove that it works in the marketplace before you build anything more. So that way, the point I will say is, if you're not selling, you are just making something, it's just a hobby. And if your father is paying it or your father-in-law is paying it, it's a hobby.
So brilliantly said. Thank you for endorsing my conviction as an entrepreneur for last 25 years, that if you can't sell something, they say production minus sales is equal to scrap. And as you beautifully said, it's and if you're not selling, then it's just a hobby, like you're just trying to do it. And Vikat sir, we also thought about, we go one step further. It has to be a profitable sales, because ultimately, until the profit is there from your sales, you will not be able to run and sustain your business. So,
correct. If you're not profitable, you will shut shop sooner or later, and the free money era is over.
Yes, absolutely. And today it's a global village we are operating, as you rightly said. And here the competition is not from any one or two places, it's from the entire world. And if you're not alert, if you're not curious, if you're not responsive, it's not resourceful, then it is very, very difficult for any entrepreneurs or any enterprise to really sustain. And
one more, when you said global, many years back when the mobile apps started coming, I think Satya Nadella said this, your app is competing in a mobile phone on the home screen. Your app is competing with the best of the best. The next to you will be a Google app, next to you will be a ChatGPT app, next to you will be a Microsoft app, and these are $3 trillion companies, and you're probably $1,000 startup, but your app is sitting next to them. That's what we are comparing, what we are competing today.
Because you're absolutely right. That's exactly what you are. If you're not really world class, if you're not really excellent, par excellence, you in fact, mediocrity is passe. Today, if you're mediocre in any profession, you will not be able to survive. And as you very rightly said, you are competing with the world leader in every product, whichever product and services that you are offering, if you're not world class. And that's exactly where we come down to artificial intelligence. And as an expert of artificial intelligence, I would first of all want to thank you for taking out your valuable time and being open here to share with the young entrepreneurs, which is a basic niche participants whom we want them to actually impress and to educate and to empower and to enable, so that India would have more entrepreneurs who are able to survive, and that would what will make India into again the golden land which it was once upon a time. And that's been one of my big vision statement, that we in India were the golden land almost about from the 1st century to the 13th century. And then in the last, after 250, 300 years of the British rule, really impoverished us. But the base is still there, the intelligence is still there, the resourcefulness is still there, the entrepreneurial DNA is there. And I, for one, believe that people like you and me, if we can share our own journey of entrepreneurship and give them these nuggets of wisdom, maybe they will be able to build an enterprise which will enable us to build our country. That's another
Just
statement.
to add that, if you permit me, today
Please.
the entrepreneurs are in a fantastic time. Looking back at my entrepreneurship journey 25 years back, around 96, 97, there was not many people who had done software services. There were not many peers who have been there, done that for me to go and get advice. But today, there are forums like TIE, NASCOMs, and so many other things. And all the entrepreneurs who have got 20, 30 years of experience are willing to share their wisdom. So, young entrepreneurs who are watching this, I strongly urge, please join one of these forums and go and talk to people the problems that you're facing. Just loud thinking and tapping their mind. You'll get wonderful ideas. Please do that.
It's absolutely very well said, sir. Very well said. It is very important to have a mentor. It will try to have the right environment, ecosystem, and getting their mentorship or their advices prevents you from making the same mistake that all of us made during our journey.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that
They should make new mistakes. That's where fun comes.
Very true. Absolutely. Now, the first thing which I want to talk about artificial intelligence is they say, in fact, I've been keenly studying this phenomena. They say that artificial intelligence is going to change the entire way human beings live life. Of course, business being a part of life will be also impacted. So, Venkat sir, I want your first initial comment. How impactful is going to be artificial intelligence in the sphere of life, human life, as well as more so in the business world?
I think media, everybody is doing kind of a mistake because they are overhyping stuff of artificial intelligence, which we are not there, and they are underappreciating things which are already available for us. That's how, as a technologist, as an entrepreneur, I view it. Where they are overhyping is the threat of artificial intelligence, they taking over the world, and we human beings will be subjugated to them and all that. That's science fiction still. Even today, I'm just watching the latest Star Trek episode. I'm a big sci-fi buff, but then that's too far away. Definitely not in our lifetime, if you want me to put a timeline to it. So I think we are overhyping that particular fear of artificial intelligence, which we are way far off. So let's not worry about it. Coming back to what is more reality, there are these fantastic tools, how we use software, how we run our business, how we hire people, how people are going to be productive. All those walks of business are being affected as we are speaking today with artificial intelligence. There is a Zoom technology as we are talking, which is transcribing at the back end what you and me are talking. And in a matter of and all the leaders, and in selection season, right? All these political leaders campaigning, they have those screens. And in very shortly, and even I think Prime Minister spoke a couple of months back and before the election campaign, and it was real-time translated and the video was made in individual languages. That's the kind of power of technology that's available today. We are not appreciating, we are not focusing that. So what I will say, if you're worried about artificial intelligence, you want to learn, find out the tools that are available today. Start using them, take advantage of it. It's not something that is coming next year. No, it's today. It's already come last year. It's getting better. So start using it. If you don't start using it, your competition is already using it.
Because you said very rightly. In fact, the first point I want to emphasize is, because according to my own study, I felt that 50% of human population, they are technophilic and 50% are technophobia. And this is what is the general categorization. And what you just said was very, very important for that other 50% who are so technophobia that they are not ready to have the open-mindedness to adopt this technology. So, Venkat sir, first thing I want you to address this particular issue and tell those technophobic 50% of the human population why it is important and why it is very, very urgent right now for them to shift their mindset. Because I, for one, believe that 85% of success of human beings is mindset. So I want you, as an expert, one who has really worked deep into this particular.
It's very simple. Again, election season, every party
Yes.
wants to tap the young first-time voters, right? Because
Yes.
that's the demographic strength of India. Even
Right.
the European countries now with the immigrants, a lot of youngsters are coming in. So very simple. What you're selling, the biggest chunk of population which is going to buy is those people who are first starting to earn. Who's going to buy a motorcycle? Is a guy in 22, 25 who has got his first job. He's going to buy a motorcycle. Who's going to buy a car? Who just got married, he's in 30s, he wants to buy a car. Who's going to buy a flat? A guy in his probably 28, 29, he just got a car.
Yes.
He's got married. His wife says, oh, first, or he wants to get married today. Finding a bride is a big problem for bridegrooms across all capitals. So you need to have a house. Who's going to buy it? These are your young population, and they are minded at digital first population, digital native generation. You and me, when we were born, internet came much, much later. Mobile phone came later. It's not like our father generation. We were youngsters. We were teenagers and youngsters when these things happened. But this is a population, when they are born, internet was there.
Yes.
And when they are in the school, mobile phone was there. When they are in their higher secondary and college, internet is taken for granted, tools are available, everything, apps, everything. That's the population you're going to sell. And that's not a technophobia population. That's a technology native, digital native population.
Yes.
So if you want to run your business, you have to sell to these people. You have to sell to your customer. The customer is this cohort. You have to learn it. There is no other way. One of the things in the, the pandemic, which I found it very surprising, a lot of these, the jewelry store and your sari stores in Chennai, I'm from Chennai. So all this shopping district in Chennai, they are the most conservative business who probably took into computer billing lot later. But the first thing they did when the lockdowns came in and you were not allowed to, but you are allowed to do e-commerce, they all said in WhatsApp, we'll do a video call and show you saris, show you jewelry. This is 2020. I'm talking about May, June 2020, 4 years back. And they took advantage of it. This, I'm sure, was a very conservative owner, but he or she had to do it. So today we are, I'm just an example. You can take it to anything, aircrafts onwards, that today you have to, technology is no more a choice and AI is no more a choice. You have to use it. Absolutely. So it's better you learn. And I'm sure a good entrepreneur is very smart. He or she doesn't have a finance degree, a legal degree, but when a lawyer says or a CFO says, the entrepreneur gets it. So technology is also very simple. And today, just adding one more point, you don't need to write code. ChatGPT writes fantastic code better than any engineer. All you have to do is just type, give me this code and it'll do it.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, all these entrepreneurs and some of these sales guys who are there, in fact, when I do these sales training program, I still feel that more than about 60, 70 people have not downloaded ChatGPT into their mobiles. It is surprising. And as you rightly said, if they don't use it, they will be just left behind, because artificial intelligence is, as you rightly said, has already taken over. They say that, according to them, that super intelligent human being or artificial intelligence already created super human beings who are much more intelligent than all of us, and they are going to take over. And by using them, you're going to have a competitive advantage. So you said it very, very rightly. The first thing I want to ask you is, what are the 5 simple steps that a solo entrepreneur, or I would say a small and medium entrepreneur can take in order to start leveraging artificial intelligence to boost their sale?
Okay. That's a very, very tough question, because it's a wide spectrum of people we are talking about. I think those who haven't started using, I'll say the first thing is download something like ChatGPT. That is
Yes.
the easiest thing. I'm a big fan of using simple tools that are easy to use for people, and all the jargon and the complicated tools that are going to require you training. I'm not a big fan of those because that's not an habit that sticks with you. You
Right.
have to use tools which are easy for you to use so that you will do it every day. So it's like your fat diets, all your paleo diets and all that. You can do it for a month. You can't do it sustained. But something eating vegetables, fruits, you can do every day. So like that, I will say start with ChatGPT and start playing around with it. You don't need to take the paid subscription, but if you are an entrepreneur, I will strongly suggest take the paid subscription. It's about $20. Play it for a month to whatever you're doing today in your computer. Start trying it with ChatGPT. You're searching Google something, ask ChatGPT. Brainstorming is the first thing I will say. Anybody who's getting into this field should start using ChatGPT. Is a wonderful brainstorming friend, sounding board, whatever you want to do today, every day. The last almost a year, I've been using ChatGPT for most of my blog writing, for my emails, for anything that I want to
Wow.
do. Even for this conversation, sometime a couple of hours back, I said, how are people using AI in sales? There's nothing, I'm not taking the input from it, but I'm taking ideas from it. And I just ask it more questions. So start using ChatGPT for brainstorming. What do I mean by that? Don't ChatGPT, we are all used to Google. So you're asking ChatGPT, how do I, the first thing, if I'm an entrepreneur, I'll type, how do I increase my sales 10x times? ChatGPT is not going to answer that. It doesn't have it doesn't know anything about your business, your expertise. That's where people with that knowledge, expertise like you will be able to help them. But in ChatGPT, ask questions where it can help. It's not Google. So don't ask it. It can answer what is the population of India, but that's not where it does very good. Ask it questions where Google can't answer. What examples? Can you compare the top 5 countries with population across the world and correlate it with number of tigers in that country? I'm just making up something as we are speaking. This
Yes.
Google will never be able to answer. ChatGPT will be able to answer. That's the first thing. That also is not great. Then you say, what about elephants? Countries with more elephants, do they have more population? I'm just taking something very non-controversial. You can take it. So and keep going. Once you're about that 8th, 9th thing, ChatGPT, you'll suddenly realize, oh, this thing is fantastic. I'm able to have a conversation with it and get data, get intelligence, which I normally cannot. And ChatGPT has read all the human knowledge, all your Wikipedias, all your web archives, all the books, all the documents, all the internet out there, it has read. So it is an expert. And when you're asking it cross intersection, that's where magic always happens. When in product management, MBAs are taught the magic happens when you intersect 2 fields, like biotechnology with computers with physics. That's where magic happens. Magic doesn't happen if you're only in computer science or only in. So ChatGPT has read all this. So if you're asking a legal business marketing thing, which nobody will be an expert, but ChatGPT is, it will be able to give you very fantastic answers. So start using it as brainstorming. We can keep going more on. The examples are now you can use ChatGPT, but use it for brainstorming. That is number one. Again, with ChatGPT, like I said, I don't want to throw many names. You can Google and say which are all the tools. There are AI tools available for you for contact searching, dissecting and picking up a particular market, particular preference of contacts. All those tools are available. But the second I will say is use it for your communication, email writing, your messaging. ChatGPT is fantastic. For all of, at least for you and me, English is not our mother tongue. But you want to sell it to those Western countries, you have to write in very good English. I do think my English is okay, but I'm not a native speaker by any stretch of imagination. So what I use ChatGPT, I don't ask it, I don't write. The key point here is I don't say to ChatGPT, write an email to my customer. Who's your customer? It doesn't know anything. So I give an example. For example, if you are a mutual fund advisor, you want to sell it to an NRI sitting in the US. You want to write to her and say, please invest in whatever ICICI mutual fund debt thing. That's what you want to do. Normally, you would say, madam, this is the thing, this is the returns, this is the portfolio and all that. But she, living in the US for 25 years, may not understand the terms we are using in India. We are talking about capital gains tax. We are talking about returns. We are talking about terms which are here, PF, you will compare it with the PF product here, which she in the US doesn't have any clues about. So what I will do if I'm in a mutual fund, this is general ChatGPT. I'm not going out anything sophisticated. Just subscribe to ChatGPT and I will say, I am Venkatarangan. I am a mutual fund advisor in Chennai. I have about 100 customers in various fields. I'm trying to write an email to, say, Sonali in the US, who's lived in the US for 25 years. She's working in whatever, General Electric. And I wanted to invest about $100,000 in this particular product. And these are the reasons I'm advising. Now you search more information about this ICICI product, bring it in. Now compile all this information into a couple of paragraphs, but write it in American English with examples of American products in a tone that somebody who's lived in 25 years for US will understand. This is the long prompt that I will write. If you give this to ChatGPT, of course it is work. It's not magic. This you have to spend about 15, 20, 30 minutes to write it. But if you write it, ChatGPT is going to give you a wonderful email. Which, if I am your target customer, I'm Shonali, I'm reading that email, I very clearly say, oh, Venkatarangan has done research. He's done this work to make me understand the product. It's not a PDF brochure that you're throwing to her. It's a customized thing that you're doing. That's where ChatGPT works. To do this, imagine 1.5 years back to do this. You have to hire somebody through Upwork or Fiverr in the US, pay them about $100, $200 to do this copywriting, which you are getting in ChatGPT in a second. And the best part, you don't like that, you can do 100 variations. ChatGPT is not going to get bored about it. It's going to do it. So that's the second thing.
Rightly said, it really empowers you by enabling you to give a quality communication. But you just told about, you just mentioned about a very important thing, how to prompt ChatGPT. Yes. So how does a person or entrepreneur or a sales guy learn about this prompting? Because as you rightly said, whatever you prompt ChatGPT, the quality of your output will depend upon that. Correct. So would you like some advice on that?
There are a couple of things. Of course, there is fantastic videos out there on prompt engineering. Even best is to ask ChatGPT, how do I learn prompt engineering? It's going to give you wonderful answers. Right. One of the other tricks to use ChatGPT, before I answer your prompt question, is to say, explain prompt engineering to me as a 10-year-old kid. It's fantastic. This is called role playing. We computer engineers, we always like to throw terms for it. This is called role playing. Okay. Of course, don't run your imagination wild when I say role playing. It's to this domain. So, and then you can say, can you explain prompt engineering to a 15-year-old person or to a college graduate with this background? It's going to give you those things you can learn. Simple tips about prompt: give as much context as possible, which is any good entrepreneur always knows that he or she is walking into a meeting. You try to get as much context. Who am I meeting? What is their pain point? What is the competitors I'm doing? What do they buy for? What is the interest level? What is this company about? You'll do all this research. Now give ChatGPT whatever information you've got. So give it as much context as you can. When I say context, like I said in the earlier examples, I am Venkatarangan. I'm trying to sell this product. I'm trying to sell it to a person in the US. I'm saying all this just to write an email. I didn't say, rewrite this email for me. That's not what I did. I gave all this context.
Right.
If you just say, rewrite this email, is like you walking into a meeting and say, here is my PowerPoint, just see it, and you get out. No, you don't do that. Even if you're doing a standard PowerPoint deck to a customer, you will customize it based on the customer that you are walking in. So do that, give as much context. Second thing, interact with it. Please remember, it's not Google search engine. You can interact with this. You can say, oh, I didn't like it. Tweak. I didn't like this line. Tweak. You were a little harsh here. Can you change? You were too submissive here. Can you change? I like your second point. Can you give me variations? Discuss with it. It's like having a buddy. Sounding board, make full use of it on prompt also. It's not one prompt doesn't get it. Typically, when I use ChatGPT, it's about 7 or 8 to prompt, 8 interaction that I get a result. So second. Third, use terms like please, take your time, step by step. it does work. And there's a big explanation. I'll
Wow.
not go into why it is, but it's not anthropomorphism. Okay, it's not like we don't need to think it like a human. But then the reason why these work is the corpus from which they learn. Good quality content is associated with these words. Please, step by step, take your time. So when you say that to ChatGPT, it's not like it's taking time in the real sense, but it's kind of using that good quality corpus to give you good quality results. So these are the three things I will use for prompt. Of course, there are many more things to learn when it comes to prompt engineering.
So that is very interesting. And you said, using those basic, etiquettes of how you are dealing with a buddy, asking those please step by step also helps in getting the right content out. That is again, very, 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 very powerful. I wanted to ask you this as well. Like in selling, we talk about the first thing is customer segmentation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and in customer segmentation, what we are trying to do is we are trying to find out who are the right customer for your product in terms of the demographic, in terms of the purchasing power and the preferences. So normally that's what we call the niche marketing, okay, or niche selling. So how can artificial intelligence help you in this important aspects of customer segmentation, which is a very important part of pre-sales activities?
Correct. See that if you're a large corporation, you're going to have this data warehouse of all the prospective customers. See, if you're Microsoft or Google or IBM, I'm sure their CRM systems are going to have every customer, every company that's registered in the world. They're going, whether they buy from them or not, I'm sure they have the data about these people. So there they have very different systems. But if you're a solo entrepreneur or a small business, collecting that kind of data is going to be literally impossible for you. So let's not.
Yeah.
Typically, when people talk about technology system, they make the mistake of thinking, I want to buy a Boeing 747 where I just want to go to the next street. I can't even afford a seat in a business class in Boeing 747. Why am I even thinking about buying it? So the question comes, oh, which is good? Is Google Gemini the good, or OpenAI's this is better, or Cloud? Why are you worrying about all that? You need a tool that works for you today for your size. So coming down,
Right.
it's not about using tools that are subpar. It is about tools that match your need. Let's be very, very clear about it.
Right.
So for you collecting this data, like very well from in lead generation and marketing, this takes time, this takes money. So ChatGPT or any of these AI tools are not going to magically give you database. That you can buy in the internet, email addresses and phone numbers and all that. That's not going to be really quality data. Where I think these AIs for a small business will help, you collect this data through innovative methods, through workshops, through webinars, through advertisements, whatever that we normally slog and do. There's no easy way. No ChatGPT is going to say, I'm a company which is selling fans. I want to say, give me 1 lakh addresses of people who will buy fans. There's no such tool. Okay, that if that is a tool like that, Facebook and Google would close shop because that's the biggest business they are into. So they are the gatekeepers of those kind of data. You have to go through them. You still have to do advertisements to collect those data. To those, once you collect that, these tools will help you to segment them better, analyze them, get more information about them. That's where you have to use. I will not spend my time with a small business on doing a lot of lead scoring and all that when all I have got is 10 leads. The 10 leads I can see in an Excel sheet and I can score. I don't need a sophisticated system. So, but eventually I'll have to grow that. So that is the way I'll approach this. There is 2 things we can, on those people can do. One, if you're already in, say, Zogo, for example, Zogo CRM or Zogo sales already have Zia, their systems which can do this lead scoring. If you want it, Zogo has got it. If you're on, say, Freshdesk, please start. Don't change systems because they have a fancier AI jargon, which your provider doesn't have. Every provider, if they don't already have, they will have it next month. So stick to what you are already comfortable with. You're in Zogo, please use Zogo's AI. If you're in Microsoft Dynamics, please use that. If you're on Salesforce, please use the Einstein, so on and so forth. Learn that properly. Don't jump. Don't say, oh, Zogo has got Zia, let me move from Salesforce to this. That's waste of time. It will only benefit people like me who will do services to migrate you from one platform to another. Do that. Where you should spend your time and energy is in the personalization. Once you've got this, like I said, for 10 leads, you don't need to score. You very clearly know. Use these tools to drill deeper into them. Each of those 10, now I can use ChatGPT to say, here is my customer URL, or here is their what do you call, annual returns. Can you go through it and summarize and tell me what is the requirement of fans that they might have, or which are the regions that this company is there, which have summers more than 40 degrees Celsius, where I can go then sell them ACs. This, if a company has branches 1,000 places, to do that research for you itself will take you days. With ChatGPT, it's a 5-minute query. So used to do personalization, used to drill deeper into those customer leads that you have already got. Don't say, I want to target 1 billion people. Boss, then only Facebook can do that. For targeting 1 billion people, you have to spend $1 billion. If you have $1 billion, you don't need to listen to me. You have Mark Zuckerberg on the phone who will help you to reach that. So do the leads in the conventional method that's worked for you, but use these tools effectively to convert into a sale. Increase your conversion ratio. In terms of you want to generate videos for them, you want to write better, you want to reach out to each individual instead of doing one ad. Now you can do 1,000 ads with these tools, each personalized for that particular segment. Yesterday I was seeing a tool called, I think, Be Human. What they do is I think a couple of months back, one of the companies also in India, they try to use it. You record one video of selling your product, say 30 seconds, and you give it a database about, say, all your 1,000 prospects that you're going to email. In that video, it's going to put your customer name and say, hi, Dr. Arunaagiri, hi, Dr. Watson, hi, Mr. Venkat. It's going to customize automatically that one video you made, and it's going to send it to all those 1,000 people email. Imagine opening an email where a video is going to play, which talks to you in your name. It's like 20 years back when you had personalized emails.
Yes.
If you get back to that. So that is the innovative way where I'll be using these tools. It's a long answer, but that's how I say
absolutely. In fact, you touched upon a very, very important how to personalize, all these data which you have got, because ultimately, in selling, we all know that human beings take decisions emotionally and then justify it logically. Correct. So the emotional connect is what you need to do it. And as you very brilliantly said, you can use these tools of AI in order to personalize and thereby get that emotional connect with the people.
I'll give you an example. Netflix was running, probably they stopped running for almost 10 years. One of the biggest competitions in the machine learning world on recommendation of movie. That today is a very simple problem in computer science, but 10 years back, it was nearly like rocket science. How do you do recommendations for movie? At that scale, okay, it's very difficult. That they ran a competition on the best algorithm. Every year they will give prize money and they will take that algorithm. Their thing was a gold standard in terms of recommendations many years back. Why is it important? You open Netflix. Imagine you're opening Netflix for the first time. Very likely, even though you haven't played, Netflix doesn't know anything about you. The first 5-6 movies that you see, one of them you will definitely click. Yes. That is how precise is there. And as you start using it, you will know that every time that movie that says, I picked up it for you or recommended for you, that panel will be so good that you will click. Yes. There is so much of machine learning and AI at the back end working, unimaginable amount of computation power behind it. Because we are talking about thousands of movies, nearly 100 million subscribers or whatever. How are you going to do a recommendation for them? That works. And it's so important. I'll also say from business, because you said entrepreneurs, why it's so important for Netflix to recommend the movies that you're likely to click is because they have to download that movie from the US and keep it in a server that's closer to you, even before you click.
Right.
That is why Netflix, when you click, it starts playing immediately. Because even before you click, they know to certain 80-90% degree accuracy that you're going to watch it. So they have brought the movie to you and kept it in a server that is closer to you.
Wow.
So AI is not only showing it to you, there is a business value because you are a Mexico Spanish movie fan. Every time that I download this movie to you from US to Bombay, it's going to cost me money. I have to bring it once and keep it in the Bombay server. And we are talking 100 million users. So there's a business sense also to all this.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, because I want to ask you this, now there are so many things that uh, we require AI can do it. And as you rightly said, it all depends upon the scale, your bandwidth, your resources that you have got. Like you have customer segmentation and personalized recommendation, predictive analytics, dynamic pricing, chatbot and virtual assistants, sentiment analysis, lead scoring, sales forecasting, so on and so forth. These are various dimensions of sales.
Correct.
So you did mention about it, but which are the things which you feel as a solo entrepreneur or a small and medium enterprise entrepreneur, they can immediately start leveraging AI for?
Like I said, any of these tools that you're already using will have an AI component. Start
Right.
learning that. Apart from that, use ChatGPT. You're on Microsoft Office 365. You don't need ChatGPT. You can subscribe their Copilot thing. You're on Google Workspace. They have their Gemini. So subscribe to one of them. Like I said, don't switch just for this. Google Gemini, for most cases, is as good as ChatGPT, is as good as Microsoft Copilot. But stick to the one that you've already got and buy the AI, whatever AI magic that they are throwing, and use it. Apart from that, if you specifically need for sentiment analysis, your business needs it. There are plenty of tools out there in the internet. ChatGPT has got a whole GPT, custom GPT store. There is a million GPT, just like apps. You go and search sentiment analysis. There is a kind of a plugin available in ChatGPT. So if you just go shopping around, you will end up buying $20 tools, about 100 in a month, and you will end up wasting $2,000. So don't do that. Be very clear, exhaust the options that you're currently using. That you don't need, then do. Predictive and pricing is where you can use ChatGPT itself. If you give it the correct queries and the context, it can do wonderfully, tell you suggestions on pricing. But don't throw and say, here I've got a regulator, I'm going to price it at 200 rupees. What do you suggest? ChatGPT is not going to give you any interesting answers. Tell it, this is the web page where there are a lot of these regulators by various manufacturers. Here is the information about regulators. Now, this is the segment that I want to go and target. Now, can you tell me what is the good price? It's going to give you a better answer. The key is in all giving it the context, giving it the information, and asking it, and keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you said, wait, not to just go berserk and try to do everything, do it once at a time.
Correct. One of the things you can use these tools, if you're on Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini, it integrates with your Google spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel. It can do anomalies very well. You're saying the last 100 sales that I've done, is there anything anomaly that you're finding it? But for that, you need to have the data. Corporates do have it. In my SharePoint, in my store, I've got all this data. But if you're a solo entrepreneur, it will be in Excel sheets. Now try to consolidate into one first, into one large Excel sheet, and then throw it to ChatGPT or Copilot and say, here is the sales that I've did in the last 100 days, 200 days. Can you find out any anomaly? It's going to give you interesting results. Of course, if you are 1 million sales, then there are specialized tools. I'm not covering any of those because for small business, they don't make any sense.
So absolutely got it. So I just wanted to know, we also talk about ERP systems, and we also have this AI. So what would be the what would be the difference between the two, and how do we integrate both of them in order to get the best business results?
See, like your CRMs, customer resource management, that's where you manage your customers, you manage your leads, or you use something like HubSpot to send your campaigns and all that. ERP is basically to run your business. SAP is the classic example, but then SAP is for bigger, really bigger Fortune 100, Fortune 500 type companies. So that's to run your business, all your business functions, right from HR to your machineries, everything, to manage all those resources where you use ERP. AI is the larger term. Machine learning is a part of it, where if you start using data and trying to come to decisions, that is what is machine learning at the end of the day. And we have been using machine learning. It's not like AI came only 2 years before when ChatGPT came. Simple example, your Gmail. How does it figure out whether an email is spam or not? It uses machine learning.
Right.
Every day, a billion emails go through, something like that. So over the years, it has seen trillions of emails. And we have said those are spam, not spam. So it has learned from historic data. That is machine learning. Now, then you have deep learning, then you have neural networks, and we have today ChatGPT is based on something called as generative AI. That I just take a second, 30 seconds to explain why it does. Generative AI, as the term says, it generates new content. For the first time, AI is able to generate content which didn't exist.
Wow.
I can ask ChatGPT today, write a comedy movie with Amitabh Bachchan that happens in the 1960s with Mahatma Gandhi as a character. It's going to write it for me. That content never existed. Or I can say, one of my favorite is Mahatma Gandhi in a Star Trek space. It's wonderful to see that old man in a space captain suit. It's really good. That is a generated content. It didn't exist. So that's why it's called generative AI. So this is what makes us feel that it's human. But it's at the end of the day, it's processing data. It's not doing any magic out there.
Yeah. So in fact, I read, I have somebody like Mo Gaudat, and these people were talking about it. How, as Reddy said, they're generating, AI is building up on AI, and that's where it's becoming super intelligent, and they expect it to be much more than a superhuman. And
that's all very far off. That's all very, very far off. Let's not worry about it. Let's worry about using ChatGPT in Zogo CRMs and HubSpots and Facebook ads and ChatGPT. We'll worry that.
Absolutely. In fact, that's I think the good clarification, because some of the predictions which keep on coming out in the social media and in various podcasts, sometimes, as you rightly said, really makes you very fearful, and how it is going to impact our lives as well. Because you're right, in fact, when I was doing the analysis from the perspective of a sales trainer and a sales consultant, they say that whatever may be the advancement in technology, there are going to be three skills which are going to be irreplaceable. One is interpersonal skill, one is the selling skill, and third one is the ability to prioritize. Absolutely. And these things will be always there, and it will always be required, irrespective of whatever may be the technological upswing that may happen. All the AIs will be there. Venkat sir, your comment on that.
See, you touch a very important point on whenever I go to, especially to students and talk about AI, I don't talk to, generally I avoid those things because they are not even cutting edge, something even more advanced. And like I said, they are digital natives. Okay, so anyway,
yes.
Worry they have, or at least the professor's worry is, are these students going to go into a market where there is no jobs? I'm an optimist in that sense. I don't see AI taking over all these sales jobs, or you can replace it with any jobs that you're talking about. Definitely not cooking or driving anytime soon. We have been promising driverless cars for last 10 years. We'll continue to promise it. I'm not saying it will not come. We are worrying it about which are slightly far away. Let's worry about things which are more closer to us, where it will be meaningful to our life today in 2024, is my point. So AIs are not, if you're just doing a LinkedIn copy paste of details into an Excel sheet, next month, tomorrow you may not have a job. I don't even know why do you have a job today. If that's all you're doing, you're just copy pasting from LinkedIn onto an Excel sheet, somebody out there has hired you wrongly. That shouldn't exist. It's a 5 minutes program that ChatGPT can write, and you, without knowing any computers, can run it. So that job role shouldn't exist in the first place. You will lose your job if that is all what you're doing. But if you're picking up the phone and able to strike a conversation with somebody sitting 10,000 miles away and ask him about a soccer match that his son played today, and able to hold that conversation for 5 minutes, I'm sure your job is safe. What it will help you, if you are such a person, what would have taken you 6 hours to prepare this information for that call is going to be about 6 minutes or 10 minutes. That is the power of ChatGPT or generative AI and all that, which means today, instead of doing 2 such calls to somebody in the US, you can do 10 calls.
Yeah.
You will be 10x. Again, I'm looking at your motto. That is what these tools can look at it. If you're that person, think about how you can do 10x and 20x, 30x, whatever, and be very productive and do a personalized conversation with them. That's how these tools. And if you're such a person, you are doing 10x calls, you're going to do 10x conversions. Which entrepreneur, he or she, will be foolish enough to fire you? I will love them. I will give them all the bonus, give them a car, give them a vacation in wherever they want. I will treat them like royalty. So if you are able to take advantage of these tools, which is what they are, you are gold.
Absolutely. In fact, as you rightly said, those basic skills are never going to be lost, and those skill needs to be developed, and they don't come automatically. You need to work on that. And as you rightly said, it has been my experience that ChatGPT can help you to further own up your human personal skill. You can hone up your selling skill. It can also help you to become improved personal power and selling power.
I give
Isn't
you one
it?
very simple example on that same line. LinkedIn, we are all posting, okay? And we post it with a long post. We don't come to the point correctly and all that. You would have seen rewrite with AI in LinkedIn. That's available for almost like 6 months now. Rewrite with AI, right? You type something in the LinkedIn post, press that rewrite with AI. It's going to magically rewrite that sentence a lot more better for you. And you might still be doing 5 posts in LinkedIn, but because it is better worded, it's correct. It doesn't have a grammar mistake. It is correctly worded. And if you go back to my prompt engineering tips and you're able to write it more able to connect with the customer, that same LinkedIn post is going to be seen by a lot more people. It's going to have interaction. So you are suddenly going to become again 10x. Not by doing anything, just pressing that rewrite with the AI button.
Wow, I think yeah, these tips are so very important. I think I know how many people are actually using it consciously and mindfully, and thereby improve, as you rightly said in the beginning itself, improve your communication, because the quality of your communication is the quality of your life. Quality of your communication is the quality of your business as well.
Today, I was doing a Twitter post.
Yes.
And normally Twitter, we know we have to keep it that 160, 200 characters, whatever. It's very difficult, right?
Right.
We Indians are very verbose. We like to talk. Somebody will say 5 minutes on stage, we'll speak for 50 minutes. 5 minutes is a cue for us. Anyway, so I wrote a big paragraph, about 2 paragraphs. Literally, I wrote 2 paragraphs and gave it to Microsoft Copilot and said, can you write it within Twitter's limit? It did beautiful job. It wrote it in 2 lines. I wrote 2 paragraphs. And it's not difficult. It's so easy. Anybody who knows how to use Gmail, my father, if he was alive, he knows how to use Gmail. He can use Copilot. He can use ChatGPT. It's so simple. Let's start using these low-hanging fruits first before we climb the mountains.
Absolutely. In fact, yeah, and they're available so almost for no cost at all. And all that we need to do, as you rightly said, for all those technophobic people, that you just have to take the first step forward and start seeing the magic, have that curiosity towards it. And that's what will open up a door of abundance. And I like the way you use the 10x, and 10x starts with the mind, and then it actually manifests in the reality.
And one of the other things is, sorry, again, in communication.
Please, yeah.
In communication, one of the things we are always worried, say if you're talking to a Scandinavian country, for example, the culture there is different. We are not so used to it. We are used to the American culture, the British culture. You're assuming you are sending an email to a Scandinavian country. You want to be sure that you are culturally sensitive. You are not offending them in any way. Yes. ChatGPT is wonderful. Just ask. I write something and say, am I being offensive here? Am I being gender neutral here? It is so good. It will tell you, oh, no, you are offensive here because of such and such. Now change it. That is the power. It's like having a copywriter in your pocket.
Absolutely.
And translation. Yeah. It is wonderful in translating.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, recently a platform has opened up for trainers and speakers called Great Discovery, where they are using an AI module where they say that you are giving a talk, or you have got already a recorded training in Hindi or English, and you want it to be translated into Spanish or Latin. All you have to do is use that particular platform. they charge you some amount. Your entire training content is translated into that language and sold there as well.
I'll give you again a
So,
feedback that most of your users will be using PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, right? PowerPoint for the last few
yes.
years has a button called Rigors with PowerPoint. Not many people use it. You press that button and start giving a talk. PowerPoint is going to tell you, oh, you're making so many passes here. You're repeating the same words. It's going to give you those feedback. We have paid for PowerPoint. We are not using it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, it's already those qualities are embedded in it, and all that we need to do is to be aware about it and start using it. Absolutely, absolutely. And you said it very, very categorically that at no point of time, good salespeople with those basic fundamental sales skills are ever going to be be substituted by AI. And that is a very, very important thing, because as a lot of rumors or these talks are going on where you feel the technology is going to totally increase the unemployment level in people. So this you are totally certain about, right, sir?
Absolutely. No, if you're good, like I said, if you're only doing mundane job, you're paper pushing like in a government office from one table to another, the job shouldn't have existed for last 100 years. Why is it existing? That's going to go away with AI. There's no more excuse for you to hide behind.
Absolutely. So we talk about in selling skills, we talk about 6 cylinders of knowledge. Every sales guy should know detailed, dynamic, recent information about the economy, about the industry, about the company, about the product and services of the company, the selling skill, and the attitude. So all these 6 cylinders of knowledge is what makes a dynamic salesperson.
Correct.
If I want your comment.
There,
Yes.
you made a very right point. The 6 skills. Now, you are assuming you are working in an electrical power company. Your portfolio, I'm sure, will have like 1,000 products, 1,000 SKUs. It's nearly impossible you know all the 1,000 products. Even the engineers won't know. But like you said, I cannot be standing in front of my customer saying, "Oh, sir, that switch I don't know. I'll call my technical specialist." Customer will say, "Boss, I will Google and get the answer. You get out."
Right.
That ChatGPT and these tools will be so useful. You would say, today I'm walking into this customer. I'm walking into whatever, say, Tata, Tanishq. I'm going into Tanishq GM. I'm trying to sell him. Forget the names. I'm just using them randomly. I'm going to be selling them this switch. Now, you know what Tanishq wants. This is out of your 1,000 portfolio, only 10 products that will be interested. You can't learn those 10 today. You can tell ChatGPT, here is my entire 1,000 catalog and product information. Now, can you tell me this 10 and 5 lines for me? And you can go sudden and say, what is the competition? What is the Siemens product doing with Abel's product with this? And why my product is better, or where my product is weak? Ask all those questions and ChatGPT is going to give you in 5 minutes. You sitting in a taxi, you can do this. And you can go into the meeting well informed with this information. So the customer will say, oh, that person I want Dr. Arunaagiri because he knows everything about the product. So you'll have a personal connect. Use this. It's fantastic for translation, rewriting, summarization, explaining it to you. One of the things that a new computer term comes, I say I'm a Python developer. Can you explain this term to me as a Python developer? It does it to me.
Wow. I think the last point which you just said was so very powerful, because I've been always telling about every sales guy needs to know the 6 cylinders. And as you very powerfully and beautifully said, you can use ChatGPT in order for you to keep abreast of all the 6 cylinders of knowledge. And as you rightly said, the moment you are a master, or if you are really well versed with those 6 cylinders, any sales call, would automatically become more effective. And
there's one more thing there. That 6 cylinders is something you need to learn from an expert like you. That ChatGPT is not going to give you. It can tell you that there are 6 cylinders, but you have to ask it. That's where an expert on that particular field, or you as an expert, you'll have to take the time to learn it and use ChatGPT as a tool effectively.
Absolutely.
And one of the things, when I go into a talk, I give my PowerPoint to Copilot or ChatGPT and say, this is the presentation I'm going to do today. Can you come up with a joke for this? You won't believe it. It does really good jokes.
And so you put in all your entire presentation into the chat GPT and then
Yes.
you ask him. Yeah, okay.
Again, I'm not, this is the same thing I told. Give it as much as context, as much as information that you can. These tools, like, they eat data and information like nobody's business.
Absolutely. Venkat sir, do you remember? Can you imagine? We almost had 60 minutes of this powerful
Wow.
conversation and we didn't even realize it. And I had taken 1 hour of yours and the time is 8:59. And I tell you, the time just flew off. And I think we could touch upon very foundational aspect of selling as a skill, as an art, as a science. And you gave us such a detailed and very practical and relevant advices, which I'm sure any sales guy or any entrepreneur for that matter, if he really listens to this particular podcast with the right viewpoint, you'll be able to take back so much of information and use it right from tomorrow in their selling. So lastly, I would like to give you, Venkat sir, your final advice to all the young entrepreneurs, all the sales commandos or salespersons who are involved in selling as a profession. What would you advise them? How to use AI to boost the sale? Your final comment.
I will start downloading ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini. That will be the first step, and start playing around with it. Like I said, keep doing whatever you're doing with those tools. You're writing an email, start using it. Then you will learn where you can use, where you cannot use. Play with it. It's not going to bite. Computers are not going to come and take over your job. That's like not even centuries away. Don't worry about any of it. It's a wonderful sounding board. Use it for that. Improve your productivity. That is the key message I will say, and enjoy the ride.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Venkatarangan sir, for your valuable inputs and clearing up a lot of non-clarity about this particular illusions, I would call it as, about AI, and giving us the confidence and telling us this very, very important action point that those who have not downloaded ChatGPT, download it right now and start playing with it, and automatically you'll see that your productivity goes to the next level.
Correct.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Venkat sir, for your valuable contribution, for your 1 hour of your valuable time and giving us this nuggets of wisdom. I'm sure all those people who watch us subsequently when it is loaded up into the YouTube channel would definitely benefit. Thank you and God bless. Thank you, sir.